Hello and welcome to Bourbon Forage Fishing, YouTube's premier bourbon forage fishing channel, and I think the only one out there. This Jack Daniel's 14 is blowing up all over the interwebs. Whiskey tubers are talking about it. Some folks are talking like, hey, this might be a whiskey of the year. I've even seen this Jack Daniel's beat a GTS in a blind. So I thought, whoa, that seems kind of crazy. So let's put it head to head. I think it was SLB that had the Jack 14 beating the GTS. I have done a blind with this one, and I'll link that video. It was against a Russell's 15 and a Stagg Junior Store Pig was a hazmat. So that was an interesting blind. So the fascinating thing about this Jack 14 is I'm seeing it all over the place. Like, for example, I've seen it beat GTS in blinds and be number one, and I've seen it finish dead last 8 of 8. In another blind online. So nobody can really agree on this 14. It's very divisive. It's a very all over the place kind of release. So I think that's very interesting, versus like maybe past releases like Russell's 15 where everybody was really ecstatic about it. And I think everybody kind of scored it right around in the, hey, this is maybe not the whiskey of the year, or it might be, or is at least a competitor. The Jack is like, a lot of people are saying whiskey of the year or competitor, or some people are just kind of saying maybe not so much. So I want to put it next to, Old Faithful here, GTS, always a banger, always a winner, and just see how does it hold up head to head. I'm not going to blind these because they're going to be so easy to tell apart anyways. So I put the bottles kind of out of picture for my own ease of use. On my left, or right directly in front of me, is the Jack 14. On my right is the GTS. I'm going to start with the Jack 14 just because it's a lower proof situation. Now, I believe the Jack 14 it's 63.15 proof versus the GTS, which is 68.05. This is the 2024. So, oh yeah, that Jack Daniel's though, man, that's pure Jack right there. Smells incredible. It kind of has that charcoaly, black licorice. There's some buttered corn in there too. Very nice. Yeah, the sour buttered corn is popping out. And char and black licorice, tobacco. So good. This is a little bit more of an atypical nose and palate for a Jack product. So let's see what it's like next to GTS. GTS, of course, is the gold standard of elite bourbons, in my opinion. Wow. The GTS smells softer and more refined and more rounded and creamier and richer. There's a lot of cherry there, obviously. I'm picking up some black licorice, but it's almost like a cherry cola bomb with black licorice and a butteriness, a richness. Back to the Jack. Okay, so now the banana is popping on the Jack. That's interesting. The GTS made the banana pop on the Jack. There's a bit of a richness there. It's a little bit sharper and maybe a little bit more acetone, a little bit more alcohol-y. It's not quite as soft and round as the GTS, not as rounded and soft. So now it's really popping like banana bread or banana pudding next to the GTS. And there is some richness. There is still some of that buttered corn, which I really like. To me, anytime you get like a buttered product in your bourbon, you have won. Wow. So I definitely prefer the GTS on the nose. It's so beautiful and so soft and so rounded. And it's almost delicate. There's a delicateness to this 68% alcohol, which is just crazy. Yeah, I very much prefer the nose of the GTS to the Jack. So the nose is definitely goes to GTS. But there is this really nice sour buttered corn. God, that's good. Okay, I'm gonna go on the palate with the Jack. The finish on the Jack is a bread bomb, dude. It is a baked goods bomb. There is a lot of really delicious, like sweet candy corn stuff going on, along with, which kind of gives way to a sour buttered corn vibe. Obviously, there's that typical, like very much charred barrel char that you pick up on Jack that seems very specific to Jack. The banana and such didn't come through so much on the palate. But that is a very damn fine whiskey. A little bit hot, but just the right amount of burn there. To the GTS. Oh, it smells so good. So that George T is silkier and smoother and softer. It feels more refined. And it is just a grape or cherry cola bomb. It's grape and cherry cola all day. Nuances of black licorice. Very oily and viscous. Now, one of the advantages that Buffalo Trace always has over other distilleries is just the intensity of flavor that Buffalo Trace products hit you with. It's just so much higher than other distilleries, except Jack Daniel's. I think the intensity of flavor might actually go toward the Jack in this situation. So it's kind of interesting. Usually GTS or other BTAC, it just boom! Knockout punch with flavor and intensity. Not so much. Let's go back to the Jack. Yeah, that sour corn is really popping. Sour corn, sweet corn, butter. It maybe is a little watery next to the GTS. And maybe drinks a little hot for 63%. It's coming across a little hot. And there's a ton of that barrel char, like charcoal. I know that Jack is charcoal filtered, and I wonder how much of a flavor increase and how much of the flavor that Jack Daniel's has is from that charcoal filter. It's very intense. Yummy. Those are both fantastic. Final thoughts. I've gone back and forth now, kind of cut it out. The Jack is coming across as a bit watery next to the GTS. The GTS is more viscous and oily. It feels like I'm drinking an oiled product, like an oil. Whereas the Jack is like, it's a watery product with flavor in it. The flavor profile is a bit lighter and a little bit sharper and edgier. The GTS just feels more rounded. It feels like it's quite a bit older than the Jack 14, which I know it's only a year and a half, but it feels like maybe a 3 or 4 year old product. I think the GTS is better, but the GTS isn't completely blowing the Jack 14 out of the water like I thought it would. I think they're fairly close. And it would be interesting to see how other GTSs would perform against the Jack 14, because Jack 14's holding up. Like, I'm going to pick the GTS, obviously, every time. But that Jack is solid. And kind of like the Russell's 15, it's done better against GTS than I ever thought it would. So that's really interesting. So if you've tried these two bourbons next to each other or haven't got to try them next to or just tried them both, what do you think? Leave a comment down below. I'm really curious. Do you think Jack Daniel's is like a legit 2025 Bourbon of the Year competitor? Do you think it can be considered that? Is it on the GTS BTAC level? What do you think? I'm really curious how that 18 is going to turn out. That's what's really got me interested. Thank you for watching Bourbon Forage Fishing. Please find the Patreon and donate to it. Like the channel, subscribe to the channel, and like the video. Take care.